the person who they were torturing and questioning or interrogating, he actually had said to them, but he's got money in the house, 500,000 rand, he'll pay that if he could lose him. And then the next moment, this person, they killed him. And from the scene, they called Brigadier Mkhwanazi after it took place now. And Brigadier Mkhwanazi arrived on the scene in a white Golf. And he then proceeded to direct them how to clean the scene. And they placed the body of the victim on this civilian person's bakkie. And they instructed him to go dump the body, which he then duly did.
I had invited you, Commissioner, to then deal with your last item on this table, item number 7.
This was the most serious remark, and when Mr. Makagula started to mention this, he spoke the most, and NOMSAS added a little bit to it. They immediately stated that there's threats against their lives because of this. There's a very serious investigation that they're doing into a murder case. This murder took place on 15 April 2022 in the Brakpan area, and it's being investigated by IPID already, where it traced back to a body was found in a dam. So initially it was said to us it's Nigel Maryvale Dam in the Brakpan area. Don't know the exact dam, but this was traced back to the same group of officers who was there together with civilians. It's not one of the civilians yet mentioned. So there was civilians on the site as well. And what was alleged is that they tortured this person on the scene, where they used a method called tubing, which is a piece of rubber that you pulled over a person's face and you suffocate the person. So they tubed this person, and at a stage, the actual the person who he has actually turned state witness. He submitted a 204 application and statement as well. He said that the person who they were torturing and questioning or interrogating, he actually had said to them, but he's got money in the house, 500,000 rand, he'll pay that if he could lose him. And then the next moment, this person, they killed him. And from the scene, they called Brigadier Mkhwanazi after it took place now. And Brigadier Mkhwanazi arrived on the scene in a white Golf. And he then proceeded to direct them how to clean the scene. And they placed the body of the victim on this civilian person's bakkie. And they instructed him to go dump the body, which he then duly did. And then when it came out, and IPID's investigating it, this person who did it, he turned state witness, according to him. He contacted me about 2 weeks ago again to say that he is a state witness. He gave a Section 204 statement to turn state witness, and that so it is a confirmed case of where it happened, where Makagula was carrying the docket, and this stems from April 2022 already. And when we were informed of this, it was March 2023. And that's one of the reasons as well why we believe that a murder case that's already running for a year investigation, with witnesses, with a body, with everything already there, we thought it's imminent that he would be arrested extremely quickly thereafter. And yet here we are, 2025, and nothing has yet happened. So none of those officers has been charged that we know of. The case does not go forward anywhere. It is still being investigated. That's what my impression is from it. Also from internally, we couldn't do anything against the officers because to us it's hearsay from IPID. They inform us of this, but they're not prepared to give us anything in their docket, which we understand. It's a murder investigation and they don't want to give us anything. But it is, to us, we thought that, that would expedite that the arrest will happen and that the court cases will follow from that as well.
So if the Commission were interested to interrogate the cause of delays in finalizing or prosecuting these matters that you have referenced, you're suggesting it is to IPID that the Commission must turn?
Correct,
full
Commissioners. All our cases where the policemen are directly involved is handed over or taken over. Never mind handed over. It's taken over by IPID. They investigate the police when the police are wrong. So all the matters that we know of, that we mentioned here, has already been in the possession of IPID, already known to them, and they are investigating it.
So as at the date of your retirement, to the best of your knowledge, this is where these matters stood, which was in February 2025?
Correct, Commissioners.
You have a second part of this evidence where you say since that meeting with IPID, that is the 6th of March 2023, 2 more cases involving EMPD officers have been opened by IPID. You deal with that at page 17. Can you take
Correct.
us quickly through those 2 cases?
The first one is the case where I'm the complainant in. The fraud, the uttering, it's these vehicles that was allegedly donated by CAT VIP to us. I am the complainant in that matter because I initiated the investigation, and I have at that stage in March, when we had the meeting with IPID, they allege, but there need to be a complainant in this matter. So I undertook that. I know everything about the case. I'm the one who gave the instruction for the investigation. And up to that stage, with all the knowledge of the separate statements that we have already obtained for an internal disciplinary hearing, I made then the statement as the A1 statement. It was commissioned at Crystal Park Police Station, and it was then handed to Makagula in his possession, and it was registered at Boksburg as a case number under 26202-2023. This matter is the one that actually kick-started off the disciplinary side on the one side. But in the 2024 year, I don't know the exact date, I heard rumors that this case has been withdrawn, even though IPID constantly have contact with me and tell me that they're still investigating it and they're still obtaining statements from everyone and they're still busy with it. They constantly told me that this case is still being investigated. IPID Makagula himself, and then from February this year, there was a new investigator, a senior investigator, Kulu. Commissioner, I hope that is the correct pronunciation of he will be cross if I pronounce this name wrong tonight. But he is from KZN, and he was drafted to come and fix something in the docket, and then he was released again back to KZN, and last month he came back again to do another portion of the docket. But when with a friend of mine then in the South African Police Service, when they look on the CAS system itself, where the case number is registered, that case has been withdrawn on the CAS system by a local South African police officer, a lieutenant colonel, at Boksburg itself in September 23 already. So even though IPID is alleging that they still investigated, they still contact me, they still have dealings where they say they're waiting for this or they're waiting for that. Up to now, on the CAS system, the case has actually been withdrawn as onopgespoor, which is undetected. And this happened in 2023 already on the CAS system.
Before you deal with the next matter, I think you may want to consider a correction to your statement.
Perhaps before that, Commissioner, have you ever made inquiries as to why IPID is giving you to understand that investigations are ongoing when in fact the docket was closed as far back as 2023?
Commissioner, I have, and I've queried it with IPID themselves as well, and they have told me that they will investigate that as well. With the senior investigator, Tulu, he took a supplementary affidavit from me about 3 weeks ago as well. I actually have the docket with him. He says, I'm now temporarily the investigator again because there's something else that I need to obtain in this docket directed from the DPP. The reason for it was that the docket was originally registered at Boksburg, and the query came up is that why is it not at Germiston? Because the vehicles were registered in Wadeville. That's where the crime occurred. And my answer to that was it started in Boksburg. Brigadier Mkhwanazi's office, police office where he works from, is situated in Boksburg. And it happened all over. So it happened in Boksburg, it happened in Germiston where the vehicle fleet section is, it happened at Wadeville where the registrations was done on Natus, and then when the vehicles were deregistered again from our names, it happened in Silverton in Tshwane. So it happened over the province, and we had to choose a starting point so I started it at Boksburg, because none of the prosecution side wants to touch the docket. I don't know why, but everywhere where you get, they say, no, it's not my station, it's that station. It's not my court, it's that court. So I had to give a statement as to why did I choose Boksburg and that. But I don't have an answer. I have got the officer withdrawn it. I've got his name, but it's been withdrawn on the CAS system, and we've reported it to IPID. It was mentioned, and it's been escalated to a national level in the South African Police Service, where we as municipal police have requested at a national level to the National Police Commissioner, where we have requested that a national task team be established to investigate corruption and crime within municipal police departments. And the National Police Commissioner has assigned officers from DPCI and senior officers, brigadiers, to actually assist us to establish a task team so that we can, from a national level, because we as municipal police are overlooked when it comes to investigation, and we are there's a group of officers right through the country of municipal police that commit crimes, but they are not being investigated properly. One of the reasons I touched on it is that in terms of the Racketeering Act, or in terms of what the Hawks must investigate, there's limits of like 100,000 rand incidents. Where we are saying is, if you go and look at what bribery is being committed by traffic officers and municipal police officers, if an officer works 8 to 10 hours a day and you have contact in that session with members of the public, and he issues a fine every hour, he needs to issue 8. So very quickly you can do maths. If he doesn't issue, it's like 2 to 3 minutes to issue a fine. If it's an argument and a long lecture as well, let's make it 10 minutes. He still needs to issue 50 to 60 in his normal day, because he's been employed as a law enforcement officer, not a shoe salesman. He must arrest people, he must give notices, that he must do law enforcement. However, there's officers that issue 1 fine in 6 months or 1 in a year. And when you start looking at that and you calculate the possible contact that he had with public and the amount of complaints on the other side, and then the rumors of, if it's a drunken driving, it's 4,000, 5,000 rand, and you start calculating that, you will see that those type of officers is actually doing 100, 200,000 rand a month, if based from that, if you start just doing normal maths. And then you start looking at how officers live. They drive luxury vehicles, they live luxury estates. And when you ask your own counsel and you ask anyone, but can we do lifestyle audits on officers? It's always no, it doesn't allow it. So lifestyle audits is reserved at the moment for maybe the heads of departments or the city managers or the mayors. There's lifestyle audits, but at a lower level, there is no lifestyle audits at all. That's something that need to be, according to me, made compulsory, is that you cannot be a law enforcement officer and not be vetted to do your work.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I wanted to draw your attention perhaps to something that might require correction. The case you just discussed at page 17, you cite as a Boksburg CAS 2620223. If you turn to page 19, paragraph 36, third line from the bottom, you refer to a case number 262032023.
It's correct, Commissioner. It's March. It's 262 of March.
Okay. So in this table, we should correct the 02 to 03.
Correct.
The correct CAS number. Thank you. That then leads us to your second case that you have since learned of since your last meeting with IPID on the 6th of March 2023. Thanks.
Correct. In the very first week, this matter already took place in 2024, but in the very first week of my retirement, as I finished, not everyone, a lot of people that used to work with me still sent me information. And a lot of people, private people, didn't know that I retired. So they will still send me as if I'm the deputy chief of Ekurhuleni. They will still send me information and tell me stuff that happened. And this is publicly in the news as well, where 6 officers from the drug enforcement unit was arrested because they extorted plus minus 80,000 rand from a foreigner. These officers were arrested, detained, they were released on bail, and those officers have to date not been disciplined. Not even a disciplinary matter started against them. And they are reporting directly to Dion Singh, the brigadier that was suddenly promoted last year by Mkhwanazi as well. He reported directly to him. It's a drug enforcement unit. They've been what the officers speak to me and phone me and say, can it not be fixed? They were actually promoted in the sense that they've been deployed to do VIP protection, where they protect the people that stay behind, which is no threat analysis, nothing has been done on them at all. So they are being put as drivers for Biari, for Kasheka, for Sarah Chita. They've been made drivers for these officers. So it's as if these officers has now suddenly been protected and they just moved aside from their drug enforcement unit and they are being protected by them. But this happened after I left already. So it's information that's constantly being sent to me about this arrest that took place. And I saw it in the news as well, that it happened. But the incident took place in 2024 as well. And it's also investigated by IPID. And IPID did the arrest when they were detained.
Thank you.
Are you moving off the table?
I was going to.
Okay. In the first item, the blue lights one, right at the end of your explanation, you say you were informed, that very last sentence, you say you were informed by IPID of direct links between CAT VIP and Ekurhuleni politicians. Do you care to explain a little bit more there, if you're able to?
What happened there is that the same journalist who queried initially, Mr. Jeff Wicks, he had, at that same time, he was busy running an expose in News 24 where every day or every week he would release a snippet of information. And the information he released was more aimed at the Tembiza Hospital finance scandal where the whistleblower Babita Dukaran was murdered. So the angle that he approached was from that side. And he attached that then to the Brigadier Mkhwanazi, and the newspapers called him Blue Light Blesser. So in that situation, these links were made, is that this hospital scandal linked is to politicians based in Ekurhuleni, plus it is linked to this Blue Light Blesser then who assists them as a policeman to get all their functions performed in there. That is how that came up. It's part of the newspaper article expose that Mr. Wicks did.
If you made it this far means you really enjoyed this video, please let us know what do you think about this shocking story in the comment section below. And please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.